Well, it didn't burn it down, but that test was enough to let me know that I need to do something about this. All right, I agree with all of you. Jen did indeed complete the IOU. I saw the video, I saw the work she did, and I gotta say, there's blue, there's red, gray, green, all kinds of colors in the shopping district, and I think they all look amazing. So instead of worrying about all the colors of the shopping district, let's get back to our island. I have so much I need to do, and I have such a really fun build we're gonna work on today. What? Wait a minute. What's it? When did this get here? Hey, Eladrium!
Yes. Oh, good. You found the entrance. I was wondering if people would find this or not. I'm so glad you found it.
I did, but when did this get here? I was literally here the other day. There was nothing here.
Last night. Last night is when it got here.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that roof is so fun.
Yeah, I figured it looked a whole lot better than the crappy roof that was over Alien's little, like, budget tent he had set up there. We really needed something here to help make this not look like a complete disaster area.
It's like a patchwork quilt.
Yeah. It wasn't what I was going for, but it definitely changed into that, and I'm very, very happy with how it ended up.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm assuming you're gonna sell something in here?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell everything that I currently am not selling, basically.
Oh yeah.
So I have, I have pumpkins, I have wool, I have bone meal, I've got rockets, I've got a lot of stuff that I'm just not selling. I figure.
Hold on. I thought that was just stuff you were making for me.
Well, I have noticed that you come over probably a lot more frequently than you thought you would. But no, that is not exclusively for you.
Okay, all right. Well, great. Yeah, I was just heading off back to my Myst Island. I got some more work to do today.
Ooh, I'm so excited to play that whenever you're done. I'm so excited for it.
Should be fun. Hopefully. We'll see. I'm not really going to know if it's going to work until I get it all finished and then whether it all connects or not. So I'll find out.
Oh, you'll get it done. You'll get it done. I have faith in you.
All right. Well, maybe not as fast as you put this thing up, but yeah, I'll get there.
Well, I did have some help from Structura. Anyway, yeah.
All right. Well, great. I'm looking forward to all those diamonds.
Great. I need to go finish a tree and then actually set up the shop, and then I'll get work on selling those for you. So thanks for dropping by.
All right, thanks. Bye. Before we start building today, let's address the mountain in the room. And yes, there is a reason why I'm standing here in the rain. It will be very pertinent here in a second. On stream the other day, Eladrium and I started working on this little mountain that we're going to have. I figure we'll just keep it as a stream project. I think it'd be kind of fun to do that together. It's kind of a late stream. It's late on Fridays, so I know a lot of you can't make it, but it's the only time that Eladrium and I can get together to do a stream like that. So that's kind of when it has to be. This mountain's flat on the top because there will be a build on top up there, and it's kind of gonna have the shape of Devil's Tower. Do you guys remember that? It's in Wyoming. I think it's Wyoming, and it's featured in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Do you remember that? Yeah. It's a pretty cool looking. You know what? Let's put a picture up. Remember, editing adequate, put up a picture. There we go. That's what we're talking about. It won't be quite as dramatic as Devil's Tower, but it's gonna have a little bit of that feel. Well, now we get to why we're standing in the rain. Just before that stream started, we came over this area and it was storming like crazy. It was a thunderstorm, lightning everywhere. And I have a lightning magnet right behind me. Oh my gosh, I need to do something about this. So I asked everybody on my Discord. Oh, I didn't put my wings on. Whoopsie. So I asked everybody on my Discord, what do I need to do to protect this from lightning? Obviously, we need a lightning rod, but I can't just put a lightning rod right there on the top because then... Oh, I almost made it. Because then it would just still burn. I think at 2 or 3 blocks below, it will still burn. So they told me that I can actually put this thing up at build height way up in the sky. And that actually would be a way to keep it out of sight, but still protect my tree. And I'm choosing to believe them. So let's grab, I think, a white concrete block. You gotta have a solid block underneath it. A white concrete block and a lightning rod. And we'll go up there to build height and add it. Holy smokes, that's a long ways up here. I forgot it went to 320. I never do anything this high in the world. White block, lightning rod. There we go. And that's high up, right? Yes, we can't build any higher than that. Okie dokie. Hopefully this will keep our tree safe. I really don't want to have to build the thing again. Now let's go talk about our build for today. I am very excited for this one because I finally get to show you all a puzzle without having to put it behind the spoiler wall. It's gonna be great. Out here on the end of the island, at the very end of all the paths out here, beyond the island, out in the water, they have a giant clock tower. And I love it so much because it's sitting on like a giant gear. And I love making gears in Minecraft. They're kind of tricky. Obviously, the bigger they are, the easier they are to make. I enjoyed making them so much, I almost did a steampunk theme, but I decided against it because other than making gears, I'm not very good at designing steampunk builds. I've marked the center of where I want this thing to go, and yeah, let's just kind of put something in here. I know generally how big it needs to be. No. I said no. And I'm going to use this mud. I think the mud looks perfect for like a dirty, greasy gear, right? Right. The hardest thing about making the gear is getting the spokes, because depending on how big you make it, you can't get the ones in the angles to be the exact same shapes as the ones on the end, usually. So for the corners, you end up with shapes more like this. And to be honest, I like this shape for a gear better. This kind of, diagonally positioned shape. I think it looks better than these, but you can't get that over to here on this scale. Have any of you ever tried this before? Have you ever tried making a gear in Minecraft? It's a really cool design, but if you ever do, I encourage you to make it as big as you're willing to go, because the bigger it is, the easier it is to do. It requires more work, but it's way easier to design this way than to do a really small one. I have redone this 3 times, and I keep messing it up somehow. 1, 2, 2, out. 1, 2, 2, out. 1, 2, 2. Okay, that's not right. What am I doing wrong? I literally just have to count to 3. That's it. And I can't do it right. Okay, all right. Let me try it for a 3rd time. There we go. Finally. Do you ever feel like Minecraft is like gaslighting you? Like you know how to count. Like you can count to 3. And you can count to 2 and 1, and you know how to put those together, but whenever you try to do a build, it just doesn't go. I don't know what happens. It's very, very weird. Okay. We're going to cover all this with one more layer of mud, so it's too tall, and then that would give us a platform that we can build our clock tower on. All right, there we go. That's our gear. Now, if this was going to be fully exposed for you to see the whole thing all the time, I probably wouldn't have filled it in solid. I would have done some things here in the middle to give either some depth or some cutouts to provide a little bit more interest to the gear. But we're going to slap a building on top of this whole thing. So we really only care about the outline. Also, I promise I will do a giant pillar going all the way down to secure this gear to the bottom of the ground. I know no one will actually see down below, but it makes me feel good to have my builds grounded like that. It's just a little quirk. I don't know. Does it matter? No, but do I like to do it? Yes, I do. In a previous episode, I talked about the colors of Myst, how they had only 256 colors to kind of make their entire island. So they ended up with a lot of buildings with a whitish, light gray kind of build. They made pillars out of it. They made this tower out of it. They made walkways out of it. They made the main library out of it. They use it all over the place because that's a good way to minimize how many colors they were going to need for the whole build. So I decided what I would do is that on some of the builds, I would emphasize white, some I would emphasize gray, maybe even go a little darker on others to just kind of get a variety of different grays and whites in. So on this one, I'm going to go all in on the tough. Oh baby, isn't that impressive? A big gray rectangle. I bet you've never seen a large gray rectangle in Minecraft before. When you do something that's simple like this, you need to make sure it has some good accents. So I think the roof I have in my inventory, I've got some dark prismarine stairs. So I think that'll be a really nice addition for the roof. The back, I don't know. Do I care about it? In theory, when you're playing this, you'll never see this area back here. I guess if people are flying to and from who's out here? Is there anybody out here? No. Okay, okay, maybe over there a little bit. Okay, I don't think anybody's out here. If someone was living right back here, I might do a little something more interesting with the back. But since you'll only be approaching this from the front, I don't feel like there's any real need to do anything fancy in the back. I did fill it in though. It's not like I didn't fill it in. It's just not fancy, right? Right. I find it way easier to place a layer of floating stairs if I have a block beneath it. And I am going to cover in the inside roof right here. So you're going to have to download the world to find out whether or not I left these blocks here or not. What do you think? Why don't you say down below, do you think I'm going to leave this netherrack just sitting here in the roof since no one will see it? Or do you think I'll remove it? What do you think? It's a pretty hard one to guess. I'm not entirely sure which I want to do at the moment myself. There we go, a nice green roof. I've always said this tuff has a little bit of green in it. So I think any opportunity to use like prismarine or something along with it, I think is a really good addition to tuff. Is this, either dark prismarine. I think that's the best one, but you can also use some of the lighter prismarines. And then we have this like weather veiny thing here on top. In the game, it's like kind of like this crescent moon symbol thing. And I tried to make something that looked exactly like it. It's just too small of a space in Minecraft to make something look, kind of circular and fiddly. So I think this does a pretty good job, particularly from a distance. See? I think that looks really good. I think it has a good feel to it. It feels more than like a weather vane. It feels like some kind of decoration. So I think it turned out great. Let's go to sleep and then we can start trying to make a clock. Now I feel like the clock has a thin wood border around it. And I can't do thin wood border in Minecraft. So I thought if we do want to do a bit of a wood border, let's at least make it kind of interesting. And I always thought that logs pointing out like this, I always thought it was interesting. I always thought seeing the circles all the way around. Look at that. I think that's interesting. Yeah, it looks like it's got a pattern all the way around the edge. Yeah, okay, I think that's great. Now inside of the wood, there's supposed to be numbers. I can't do numbers that small, but I thought it'd be really fun if we let the squiggles inside this block kind of be representative of numbers. It's not exact, but from a distance it should look pretty cool. Now to get the white face, I need it to inset a little bit. So I thought if we used walls, there we go. See, it gives a little bit of dimension to it. Now all that's left are the hands. I felt this was kind of tricky because I don't really have small, thin things to use for hands. So we're gonna go something like this with a button in the middle. Look at that! It's pretty impressive, yeah? I bet you didn't think when I was up close building it was gonna turn out that well, did you? That's a really good clock, especially for that size. Like with anything in Minecraft, if you make it bigger, then you can get more detail. But I didn't want just a massively towering clock tower. That's not the right size for it. It's supposed to be big, but it's not supposed to be skyscraper size. So I think this turned out perfect. Okay, now it's time for my favorite part. I get to show you the puzzle inside. I haven't been able to show you very many of the puzzles without having spoilers, but this one you'll see as soon as you walk in, so it's not a huge deal if you see it now. And also, I'm not going to show you exactly how to solve it. I'm just going to show you how it more or less works. So it shouldn't spoil anything, but I get to show you, and I'm super excited. All right, this right here is the main mechanic of the puzzle. Unless they fixed it recently, one of the cool things that we have here on Bedrock that they don't have on Java is that you can push around a chest with pistons. And so basically that's all we're doing, is we're using pistons to push out a chest to a new location. Simple, right? Well, this one has a few extra pistons strewn all around the room. And your objective is to move the chest to a new location and hopefully find what's inside of it. What do you think? Think you can do this? I'm hopefully not trying to give you too much of a peek. I don't want you to be able to look at it in advance and be able to figure it out. I also added something else just fun and decorative inside of the clock tower. We have a giant pendulum that swings back and forth. You gotta have a pendulum in a clock tower, right? Well, if you remember one of the rules of this game, it's that you cannot touch water in any way, shape, or form. And so you're probably wondering, how do you get over here? Well, that's a spoiler I'm going to tell you about at the end of the episode. But for now, let's see this thing in beautiful RTX. Well, there we are. One more piece in the puzzle that is Myst Island. I hope you're enjoying this project as much as I am, and I hope that you found today's episode adequate. Today's behind the scene hints and spoilers is a quick one. What you find here when you approach the clock tower is this little setup here. What you're supposed to do is to put an item into this dropper. You will find the item you need over at the large gears. Not the one here, but the one I haven't built yet. Now, redstone-wise, all I have going on down here is an item filter to make sure that only the item that's supposed to go in goes in. And then what you have here, you see in the original game, there was a series of like cog wheels that would come up out of the water that you could then jump across to get over to the clock tower. Well, I did my best to simulate that here. I have some pistons down here that will push up these blocks, which I feel the swirlies kind of feel like little hopping pads, that will push up, that will allow you to be able to hop across over to the tower without getting your feet wet. Because remember, no touching water. Okay, that's it. It's a really simple one today. I'm not going to show you how to do the puzzle because I feel like it's a fairly easy one. And anything I do here today is basically just going to tell you the answer. Just play with it. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy those kinds of puzzles. I'm fairly certain I didn't make it so you can soft lock it. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to solve it no problem, yeah? If you do, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you're having fun.